Welcome to Pressure Points. Our topic is Meta earnings, and this is just after the earnings call ended. The stock is up a couple percent in after hours trading, and I'll jump right into the pressure point. It actually had less to do about Meta and more on the broader AI trade. And that, of course, was the commentary about the broader Capex spending. And there were 3 times during the call that Zuckerberg reiterated that his belief that increase in Capex is the best path to having AI products that are robust, that can be distributed at scale. And so he was all in on the AI trade. The DeepSeek commentary question came up, and his basic response was, there's some novel approaches that we're going to learn from, and that's just how technology evolves, but we're still going to need a lot of hardware to get to where we need to go. And not surprising, they reiterated his comments that he had just a few days ago about the 60 to 65 billion in Capex spending in 2025. He also talked about more broadly that they're going to spend hundreds of billions on AI Capex. Now, he didn't give a time frame. That's over the long term, so we can't exactly back into what that means year to year. And to put some context, that 60 to 65 billion in Capex, that's not just AI Capex, that's Capex more broadly. And you can probably figure maybe half of it is related to AI. And so by that measure, you could say that Meta's probably spent somewhere between 50, maybe and 75 billion over the last few years on the AI Capex. And he's saying there's hundreds of billions to go. That could be, I guess, 200 billion or 600. We don't know what that number is. But either way, it was pretty clear he wanted to come out with a very simple message, is that they're believers in AI and they're going to continue to invest aggressively on the hardware side. At one point, Nvidia was up a couple percent in the after hours market after having a tough day related to some of these potential increased China sanctions on their chips. But I think that there's China restrictions on them selling chips in China. But the Nvidia started to trade down a little bit on that after Microsoft's guidance. I think it was splitting hairs. Microsoft's guidance wasn't as bad as I think as people looked at it, off of maybe a percent relative to what people were hoping. But either way, the pressure point is positive related to the broader AI cap spend. If you're curious, Microsoft reiterated what their Capex spending goals were as well. So I'll just jump. That was a pressure point. I'll kind of jump below and talk about other things. Just, I always like looking at this, the number of, I still call them DAUs, but their family of users is like 3.35 billion. That's up 5% year over year. That's similar to up 5% in the September quarter. It's up 7% in the June quarter, but still, when you got a 3-point-something billion number and it's growing at 5% year over year every quarter, I think it just speaks to how addictive these products are. And I think that as an investor in Meta, like, that is a piece that is appealing. Like, these customers aren't going anywhere, and we continue to see that in the number. They also talked about the AI opportunity, about how advertisers are using it. They mentioned that there's 4 million advertisers that are now using their AI products, and that was up from 1 million 6 months ago. I don't know how many total advertisers they have, but I think just if you look at that growth, I think that that is encouraging. And third, Zuckerberg mentioned about these agentic AI, and this is on the profitability piece, the profitability side of how AI can impact their business. He talked about these AI agents that can do mid-level coding. And he said that existing developers, coders inside of Meta can use these tools to elevate their work and get more productivity done. So that doesn't necessarily mean that they're going to be getting rid of people, but does mean that they want to give these tools to their existing employees to increase productivity. So I mean, what he's drawing is this line that we're actually going to see we're already seeing improvement, and we see a path to continued improvement, whether it's on the revenue growth side from advertisers or on the profitability side with how these tools can make their people more efficient. So that definitely was encouraging. One last piece, this is a little bit between reading the lines, is related to Reality Labs. They're still going to spend a lot, probably lose 20 billion this year in Reality Labs. It was probably like 17, 18 billion last year, somewhere in that range. That was 24 versus 25. And I suspect that he started to kind of lay this groundwork that there may be a shift coming up. He said he wanted to, he's really excited about these Ray-Ban glasses, but wants to see how they kind of perform and this year, and kind of make some decisions on Reality Labs as that plays forward. So I wonder if we start to see some shift in that $20 billion loss later this year from Reality Labs, start to pare that back and maybe put more of that into the AI part of the business. I was remiss. I just wanted to quickly kind of recap the results. Good results, 21% advertising growth. They grew at 17%. That was expectations with they're going to grow at 17%. They did guide down revenue by a couple percent, but they typically beat. And so you could kind of look at that as more or less an inline guide. But overall, big picture is that they're continuing to spend a lot on AI infrastructure, and separately is they're continuing to benefit from AI, not only in the near term, but see opportunities to do that over the long haul. On behalf of Pressure Points, bye for now.